Good morning. Can you hear me properly? So my name is Nicholas. I work for the Economic Development Agency in Montreal. We were here today, this week, not for the S.A.G.E summit. We were for the Intelligence Community Forum. As I mentioned again, people I'm with from the Digital Office of Montreal, S.A.G.E, who's here with me, and Frédéric, which are the head of office. Again, I'm from the Economic Development Agency, so foreign direct investment and attracting talent is a major objective. 3 points today. I'd like to speak about the city itself of Montreal, about what Montreal International do, and specifically as well the IT market in Montreal. We have a fairly large gaming community, visual effects, as well since 2012. We're recording. Oh, sorry. They're recording. Better? Okay. So Montreal, we are located up north, 4 million people, GDP of close to $200 billion, an hour away from most of the main US city, Boston, New York. Actually, I gotta spend a few times on that one. If you come to Montreal, you'll see there's a lot of renovations. It is the 375th anniversary of the city next year, so Montreal is trying to get ready for next year. Obviously, great airport. We've got two. We've actually got three. There's one on the South Shore as well. Montreal in Canada is considered as an international city. We've got 66 international organizations in the city. We've got the International Aviation Association and 65 others. We actually have 6 people at Montreal International that solely take care of attracting those investment, those international organizations, and taking care of them on a full basis. Internally, we are structured as clusters. The main 3 are these ones, as Mr. George mentioned. Aerospace with Bombardier, fairly large, 40,000 people working in the industry. ICT, you'll see further down the line, as I mentioned, gaming, visual effects, software development, data center recently with the establishment of AWS, OVH, a French conglomerate as well. Ericsson has a large project too. We have an organization that's acknowledged with the Canadian government and Invest Quebec that foreign direct investment is important. Subsidiaries in Montreal are important. So we definitely take care of you guys. Just out of hand, who's from a business from here? 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. By the way, if you have any questions at any time, please interrupt me. Sometimes those presentations can be a little dry. 3 things, and again, Mr. George has mentioned them. Talent, definitely a large pool of talent in Montreal. There's 150,000 students, 50,000 or so graduate a year. There's also 11 universities, 4 major, but there's 11 universities on the island. Operating costs, definitely. Overall in ICT, there's about a 24% advantage to be in Montreal. Liliane, which just came back in the room from Invest Quebec, is the financial arm of the government. They are managing all those tax credits, specifically again in gaming. There's the e-business as well, so if you do any modifications through digital process, there's a specific tax credit for that. And market access. We signed, I think in the past 10 years, 43 bilateral agreements. So, from Montreal, it's a great stepping stone to go to Europe, for instance. The universities, it's actually the university hub in Canada with the number of students. High tech, as I mentioned. Montreal is the most trilingual city. So, in the past, I know calling center has been great. To adapt the softwares in different languages, it's also a great place to be. cost advantages of 24%. Those slides will be available to you. Salaries, here's a great example of a specific data, definitely an advantage when you come to software development. Tax treatment, Mr. George has mentioned it, touched upon it on a business level. And what we do, API, so it's an economic development agency, as I mentioned before. In the past few years, when I actually started, there were 800, there's now 4,000. So the cities get together and they organize themselves to go abroad and attract. Montreal is the island, but there's 82 municipalities. We represent the 82 municipalities. So depending on what you need and what you're looking for, we can go somewhere else as well. As I mentioned, foreign direct investment, the international organization, and the talent. We have in the organization about 5 people to take care of the visas on a personal level. So if you have an organization that's opening a sales office with a GM coming to Montreal, we'll manage the visa. Here are a few examples of large businesses. I've mentioned a lot gaming, but it is one of our main industry. Ubisoft was the largest one to come. There's about 3,500 people working downtown Montreal. I mentioned gaming, but I got to say artificial intelligence and big data are kind of buzzwords nowadays. Artificial intelligence with Professor Benjo at University of Montreal is renowned worldwide. There were professors in New York and Toronto. They were poached by Google and Facebook. We're hoping we're going to hold on to Mr. Benjo a long time. And this is my contact information. So a lot of information. Again, what we do is act as free consultant for businesses that wants to do business in Montreal. So whether it's business development, operation cost, and analysis, information on a macroeconomic level, we'll be able to do that. And again, I've got my colleague from Invest Quebec or from the digital office if you'd like to have a discussion afterwards. Thank you.